Greetings, Spirit of the Nephilim. This video is for everyone who is new to Aimlabs, new to FPS gaming in general, or those who are like me and is coming out of hiatus willing to start from scratch. If you like this kind of content, I do stuff like this live 3 to 4 days a week on twitch.tv/blackdragonqueen. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so, excuse me. I'm actually going to go to the playlist that I made. Recovery playlist. And I need to play more. This is supposed to be like a 5-day-a-week thing for me, but I've only been playing Aimlabs every time I stream instead of just literally every day. And record my progress in the meantime. Eventually I'm going to start doing like exercises that will, help me loosen up the muscles for FPS gaming, keyboard and mouse gaming, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so once again, start with grid shot to warm us up, right? And again, we're not PB chasing, we're just trying to get a better average. Get up to an average that, we can f with. We shouldn't have to worry about chasing PBs until like we get up to a certain point of our progress, of our progression to like test ourselves. And I want to put a disclaimer. Aimlabs is not the end-all be-all solution to get better FPS games. It's just a tool to help with your discipline, because the rest of your skill to build on relies on your favorite FPS games. You have to put that timing on them games, as well as putting your timing on this tool right here. It's something you have to keep in mind. So don't just play out so much Aimlabs and think, oh yeah, this is all I need to get so much better at X game and whatever. No. Because you could be good at Aimlabs but be trash at the other game because you're forgetting about the other aspects of the game and how that game has aiming and all that. And that's not a very good score for me, but you can't let yourself be discouraged about whatever score you get if you don't think it's a good score. That's kind of another trap you could fall into when it comes to recovery. You just gotta do it and keep going. But it is not a bad idea to work on getting a better average and try not to compete for a better high score. At least not in this stage. I got 110. Having an average of 110, for this particular thing, I want to have between 109 and 112. No, 108 and 112. If I am within that range when it comes to like 3x3 grid shot, I feel like I'm at a good place, and I'm at a good place. With regular grid shot ultimate, I'm not at that good place, but recognizing that I'm not at a good spot for that is very helpful, because then you can assess how to get better scores. But again, don't get to the point where like you just want to like grind to the point where you want to really beat that personal best that you have. So we're gonna go on the next one. Now here's the challenge part. Not only do I have to add control into this, I have to add reaction as well as action. And this requires a bit more concentration. And I also have to reiterate, this is a bit more important than the last two that I just played. This is where the exercise actually comes to fruition. Those other two things are just warm-ups. This is where the discipline really is kind of something you want to summon to call upon and work on. while making sure you also have to keep your mind kind of clear of whatever negative thoughts that you have. I got a 55.5 on this. Oh, let me push that back a little. I have a 55.5 on this, and that's actually great. This is where I want to be for an exercise like this. That's my PB is actually 60.5. So at the moment, I'm at a good place. And that means more, again, than the other two that I started with. And now we're going to go, I think, the headshot. Yeah, headshot standard. This is also another one, but this is more for horizontal, which is very important, especially if you play a game like CSGO or Valorant or Call of Duty. Games where you have to worry more about horizontal movement than most other games. And there's a habit that I have to find a way to break, is moving at another direction right after shooting something. Like once I shoot it, I'm already moving. And that could screw me, because the placement of when these balls appear is very RNG. But as you can see, I did it again. Oh, I f***ed up. Oh, that's not good. That could have been better, but because my own bad habit kind of screwed me over, and that's something I'll eventually have to find a way to fix, or at least tone it down enough to where it's not f***ing me so much. Pause. And now we come full circle. We're going back to Grid Shot Ultimate. And now you can actually be a little try-hardy, but not too try-hardy. Because again, you're not trying to break your PB. Unless you were already close to your PB, then I guess go for it. But like, don't focus on it too much. Just focus on your time doing this. This is just to help get your muscles back into relaxation and just like point and click, but make sure you maintain enough control over your mouse movement to do the thing. Try not to over flick, try not to under flick, which is easier said than done. But it's easier to fix than even just trying to mention it, because, you know, this is just to round up like your progress with this shit. And I got a 62k amount of points, and that's way better than, you know, the first time I played Grid Shot in the beginning of the playlist. So I'm about at the average that I would want to be, because I want to try to get at least like 60k in a consistent fashion. And once I can do that, then I can move the goalpost of the average and go up to and try to get 65. Once I can get to 65 more often than not, then, you know, I can raise it up a little bit. 66, 67, 68. But by the time I get to 69, I might as well be like, okay, then it'll be a good time to be like, okay, let me see if I can break my PB. Let's PB. But don't be too grindy on it, because you can't forget the purpose of why you're playing this in the first place. That said, there's one more thing I need to do, so I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to make this the last time So I gotta make this count and see if I can get anything better than what I got 5 minutes ago. Remember, accuracy is important. You want to make sure that your crosshair is on that sphere before you take the shot. And also make sure that you don't fall into the trap of the habit. And I am very prone. See, I just did that right there. I want to try not to move until the next sphere comes up. And this is what makes it easy to fall into that habit of already moving before you can register where that sphere is going to be. I actually might make a video about this particularly. Okay, that's already a way better score. At least 5K better than the first time I played this 6 minutes ago. I think I'm a little closer to my average. This is fine. I would still like to try to get 70K instead. But we're done here. It served its purpose. We did our thing. We shouldn't have to worry about this at all. Now, at some point outside of stream, I'm probably going to be a little bit grindy, but that's just me. Because at the end of the day, you have to you can only go with what you can currently handle. How much workload when it comes to practice that you can handle, right?